From the Book of the Burning Bush, this will be Church A, this will be Church B. We'll start with Church A, Burning Bush. How is creation an act of love? Part B, Father Lev Gillette challenges us to see divine beauty in all of creation and therefore love of all creation. He admits that sometimes this is difficult. What example does he give where it is difficult to love a creature? Part C, how does he explain that we ought to love this creature while it is difficult to love? What reason does he give for us to love it? Church B, the Burning Bush, explain the historical differences between Mount Horeb and Mount Sinai. Part B, what is the spiritual significance of the two mountains as they relate to the Jews and to us today? Part C, in order for Moses to see the burning bush, he had to turn aside. How does that apply to us today?
He is limitless love, so everything that he makes, he pours his being into us. If he were to withdraw his being from us, we would cease to exist. So everything that he makes is an act of love to us because we need his love. Father Lev Gillette challenged us to see the divine beauty in all of creation and therefore love all of creation. He admits that sometimes it is difficult. What example does he give where it's difficult to love a creature? He gives an example of the snake biting you. And how does he explain that we ought to love this creature while it is difficult? He says that even when the snake bites you, it does not see it from your perspective. It's in his nature to bite you. He doesn't know any better, and God still loves it anyway. So we should also love it because we're all his creation.
Mount Horeb is where the vision of the burning bush happened. Mount Sinai is where the Ten Commandments were received. Mount Horeb and Mount Sinai were believed to be the same mountain, or sometimes actually in the same location. But spiritually speaking, they were actually two separate mountains in two separate locations. When we talk about the burning bush itself, the burning bush was described as a plant that was a wild plant. It wasn't perfect. It had thorns in it, and it was not a perfect plant. And basically, the fire going through it was a devouring fire of love, which was known to be able to try to purify that plant and take all those thorns out and just basically bring out the beauty in it. It's historically significant to the Jews as they were exiting Egypt. The thorns and the imperfections of the plant represent the oppression, and the fire itself represents the encompassing fire, or basically the care of God being bestowed upon them. In order for Moses to see the burning bush, he had to turn aside. How does this apply to us today? Basically, when he was attending to the flocks of Jethro, it would represent basically us going through our daily lives, going through our daily cares, and just going along a straight path. Turning aside to see the vision of the burning bush is basically his way of telling us is that these doors will open to you sometimes where opportunity is presented so that you can do something sensational or something exceptional or something that's good. And it applies to us today, basically saying that we should try to not to stray away from the path of God, and to always be on the lookout for doors that open up to us, and be on the lookout for our own vision of the burning bush so that we can not miss out on opportunities that are presented to us.
The question for Church B from the book The Case of Faith. Strobel states, people say Gandhi lived a more virtuous life than most Christians. Why should he be sent to hell just because he wasn't a follower of Jesus? How does Zacharias respond to this question? What is the threefold pattern seen in Exodus? What was the theologian John Hick's view of on world religions? What example does Strobel give to illustrate this? What was Ravi Zacharias' response to this theory? According to Zacharias, what does Hick's theory ignore?
Gandhi was a good person and all, but he wasn't a follower of Jesus Christ. He knew about Christianity, and he knew what it represented and what it talked about. But yet he still felt that he should go through his ways and preach what he thought was right, but not what Jesus Christ thought was right. Zacharias responded his question by pretty much saying that if you do the certain things that God asked you to do, his being baptized and like all those things, then you shall be accepted into the kingdom of heaven. Also, if you accept God at your last time, then you're also allowed to go up in heaven.
John Hicks's view on world religions, that he viewed it that all religions share a common ground, that they all strive for peace and love, and Strobel illustrates, the example he gives is that they are all part of one elephant, that there's a huge elephant in the room, and they're all trying to see the real truth, the absolute truth, but they are blinded, so they feel around, and for example, one would feel the leg of the elephant, and they would think of it as a trunk, but it's not really the truth that they're seeing or they're feeling. So Zacharias' response to this theory is that all religions don't necessarily, they're not right because they all refute each other, so it is not absolute truth. Absolute truth is undenying, and you can't argue it. And his theory is flawed because an elephant will always be an elephant. You can never deny part of the elephant and think of it as a trunk of or a leg of an elephant. So his theory really ignores the absolute truth of Jesus Christ and what it stands for.
For the book of Saint Mary and the Orthodox concept, for Church A, Part A, explain the heresy of Arianism. Part B, please discuss the Alexandrian Fathers' answers to this heresy. Paraphrasing is okay. For Church B, Part A, explain the heresy of Nestorianism. Part B, which saint refuted this heresy strongly. Please discuss this saint's argument, action against this heresy. Paraphrasing is okay.